Let's look at how to configure your TriCaster with your Ensemble Designs router. Get the protocols set up so everybody's talking and you can use your router sources with the TriCaster. There are 3 steps. Let's get started. Looking at the TriCaster screen, in the upper left, we'll go to File and Exit so that we can get to Windows and do some of our file editing. Upper left arrow takes us back to Shutdown, where we can select Admin Mode and exit to Windows. First piece we'll do is edit the TriCaster document, going to the C drive, TriCaster directory, configuration folder, and coming down to the router_setup XML document by right-clicking on it. Now you can edit with Notepad or whatever editor that you have handy on your computer. This document's super helpful, gives a lot of sample code so that it makes it very easy to set up, and there are 2 pieces to edit here. The first piece is to tell the TriCaster it needs to talk with an Ensemble Designs router. By taking the sample code from this line here, I'm going to copy and paste it here and edit it. We'll set the IP address to 10.123.30.144. That's the IP address of the Ensemble router I'm using today. And the port number to be aware of for all Ensemble routers is 5200. Now set the name of the device to something nice and short like ENDES. We'll call it ENDES. And that tells the TriCaster to talk with the Ensemble router. Now the Ensemble routers on the same network as the TriCaster both have Ethernet ports on the back. So the other piece to edit, if you want to, is mapping. And so you can map outputs from your Ensemble router to particular inputs on your NewTek TriCaster. So again, we'll take a piece of code, sample code that's provided for us by NewTek, and let's have the Ensemble router output 1 feed the TriCaster input 7. This name here needs to be the same as the top, ENDES. And today we're setting up 2 router outputs. You could have 8, you could have 6, you can decide any number that you want for your particular application. So we'll have NewTek's TriCaster input 8 mapped to the Ensemble router output 2 as well. That concludes documenting the XML file, save, and the TriCaster should be all ready to talk with the Ensemble router. Next, let's tell the Ensemble router what protocols it needs to deal with. By browsing to the Ensemble router at the top here, you can now get to the settings for the router. In looking at the ports, I've already configured my router here today. When you're getting yours out of the box, you can go to each port and set it up as a source, destination, and all the other port settings that you need for your router. The pieces that we need today are the profiles and external control. Going to profiles first, let's set a profile up that the TriCaster can use to talk with our router. I'll call it TC Ensemble. Now this profile determines which inputs and outputs are available to the external control protocol that's being used with the TriCaster. I have 6 inputs I'd like to use today and 2 outputs. You could set up your system however you like. You may want to have 8 inputs and 4 outputs, or however you want to set it up. That looks good. We'll save the changes. Going to external control now. Let's enable the control. Select Grass Valley Native, GB Native. That's what TriCaster uses. And now we'll assign that protocol we just set up, giving it access to the inputs and outputs. Save the changes. Now your Ensemble router is ready to use with the TriCaster. Going to the bottom left of your screen, TC brings you back to the TriCaster control. We'll recall the session we were in. Looking at the program bus here, going to 7, by right-clicking on 7, you can see all of the 6 sources we assigned are available. Looking in the upper right of the window, you can see switches are happening. And let's verify for input 8 as well. So looking at input 8, all the sources are there. You can see it's very easy to edit a couple documents, change a few settings in order to get the protocols set for your Ensemble Designs router and TriCaster to talk. Now you've got a lot more sources available to use in a production with your TriCaster.